Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Assorted Crisis Events #1. This is a new book from Image Comics. Let's talk about the creative team before we get truly into this book. What an astonishing creative team, first of all. This is written by Deniz with art by Eric Zawadzki, Jordie Bellaire on colors, letters by Hassan, Otsmane-Elhaou. I picked up this very cool cover. All the covers are actually pretty cool, but this is the one that my shop picked up for me, and I was like, I'm pretty happy with it. Um, Now, what is this new book? What do you think this book is? So let's talk about the synopsis, and then I'll get into my review. Time is having a crisis. Mingling in the red light district, you can find actual cavemen, medieval knights, and cyborg soldiers on leave from World War IV. Victorian debutantes amble their way into cell phone stores, confused and bewildered. What is the data plan? On their way to work, uh, bleary eyed commuters get trapped in time loops, assaulted by an alternate reality versions of themselves, and try to avoid post apocalyptic wastelands. And look, the 315 bus took a wrong turn into the Neolithic era. Stars Deniz and Eric Zawadzki, and Eisner winner Jordie Bellaire and Hassan Otsmane-Elhaou are proud to present Assorted Crisis Events, an ongoing zig-zagging anthology series about the compromised clicks of our clocks, full of one-shot stories, both beautiful, ugly, tragic, and redemptive, surreal, and somehow all too familiar. Uh, I will say this up front. I had been waiting for this for a long time. I think Dennis Camp is such a great writer of our era, where he's able to take kind of like the feeling of what's going on in the world and distill it down into this really entertaining, really astonishing, like bonkers type of storytelling. So keep that in mind. This book is a hefty one and it's gonna be fun. Like I really like that these are one shots because you can just kind of jump in and out of the books as needed. So let's talk about it. So by embracing the chaos of comic book crossovers and kind of using them as a mirror to our own world, Assorted Crisis Events offers more than just another high stakes multiversal catastrophe. It actually presents kind of an examination of our relationship as a society with crises, both fictional and real. This ongoing anthology, which launches with an issue brimming with a lot of meta commentary and striking visuals, dares to ask whether our obsession with world ending spectacle has made us numb to actual emergencies. That is something that just feels very real, especially in the year 2025, where there's so much going on, there's so much coming out of our phones, and so much stuff that we are just being surrounded by. That how does that really affect us when everything is kind of amped up to that 11, right? So at its core, the story reveals in the absurdity of the world where cataclysm and events happen so frequently that they become routine, even expected. Superpower beings clash across realities, cosmic entities pass judgment, timelines collapse in on themselves, and yet the most compelling narrative moments are found in the quiet reflections of the characters that it follows. Ordinary people trying to navigate this world of natural disasters, both fictional and real. These things really have lost all their meaning. You know, news anchors struggling to report another crisis, with sincerity, a scientist trying to predict these events, but they remain powerless to stop them. And even just a weary hero questioning the purpose of saving the world, that it's not going to learn anything from its mistakes. Each of these perspectives just forms a really cool quilt of these stories and just a mishmash of everything that ultimately makes you wonder, like, does any of this mean anything? Now, visually, the comic is a spectacle, and I gotta commend the art team, Zawadzki and Bellaire, because they had to draw some pretty bonkers, bananas, insane, batshit crazy stuff in this book, but also they had to maintain some, gra- some a little bit of gravity and a little bit of just gravitas is what I meant to say. Something a little bit more serious had to be told here as well. So I think the most unsettling aspect of this book is just how it kind of implicates the reader. There's a little bit of a meta nod to everything because it brings in real world issues, right? There's environmental disasters, political instability, all these little nods to the real world, but specifically society's apathy to a lot of these things that are going on. The comic here suggests that we're doing that by on an everyday basis as well. So this is definitely not something that it's a light read, nor is it something that it tells you here's what you need to do to stop all this. Instead, it just kind of questions you and challenges how we do storytelling, and just kind of urging the audience to engage with things that are real beyond the page. So it's really cool. I really thought this was something very different. I didn't know what to expect, other than I knew that it was going to be something that I enjoyed on multiple different levels, right? And I'm not saying this is like a really fun, lighthearted book, but there are some bananas concepts in here. Like there's a this neighborhood is so messed up and dire looking and apocalyptic looking that movie studios just go film there without, because now they don't need to set up a post-apocalyptic world, which that's a crazy concept. And then at the heart of it, we follow one character as she kind of tries to get through everything, how this world affects her, and through all this, she's just trying to fix the one thing that maybe is within her control, and maybe that's the real answer there, that there are things that we can control that we can actually work on and fix. So I don't know. I don't have all the answers either. But this book definitely at least had me having a lot of questions. And I think that's pretty cool. When a comic has you have a response emotionally or physically or intellectually or multiple levels. I think that's just a solid comic book storytelling, and a great way to put a series like this. So, looking at the cover for the next issue, I can't wait to see what happens next. And I know this may not be for everyone, but this is definitely for me, and I had an incredible time exploring this book. But also, like I said, it's kind of a tough read. It's a dense read, and it's a hefty book. Like, I don't know exactly how many pages. I think it's about 48 pages. So you're definitely gonna get your bang for your buck on this one. So if you picked up Assorted Crisis Events #1, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.